Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look back at a recent visit I made to SF book specialist dealer Dorset Bob along with my friend Steve, the Outlaw Bookseller. So sit back, relax and let's take a look. Okay then, so we'll start off with a few pictures of Bob's library. Now this is where Bob houses his SF hardback collection, and very, very nice it looks indeed. And I'm certainly thinking this is a bit of a template for what I've got in mind when I hopefully build my library, maybe next year, possibly the year afterwards, but with a bit of luck it'll be next year. And obviously mine will be predominantly paperbacks, but just superb. What a great place to spend some time. A couple of nice comfy chairs there, reading some of your favourite books. Fantastic. Now, one of the things I'd had in mind to pick up, because I knew Bob had a huge stock there of analogue magazine. You can see the shelves and shelves of them. And it's, I think it's in December 63, January and February 64 issues of analogue magazine. This is when it went magazine size from the traditional digest size. Those 3 issues feature the first 3 parts of Frank Herbert's June. Now, back then it was published as what they called June World, so it didn't really call it June. And each part is about 40 pages or so of that magazine there of analogue. And obviously when it became such a big hit within the pages of analogue, that's when Herbert fleshed it out and turned it into the full-on June book that we know today. And Bob has got possibly 3 or 4 copies of all those issues. In fact, of all the magazine size ones, Bob's pulp stock is fantastic. And if there's any odd issues that you're after, do drop Bob a line. But it was fantastic to go through them, and I managed to pull the set of 3, and we'll have a look at those in my sort of haul at the end. And we've seen quite a bit of Bob's warehouse before, so I'm not going to dwell on it too long. We've got a few more minutes of footage, but basically some of this stuff you've seen, some of it that he's got in duplicate I've been able to take back home and offer in my sort of sales videos. So I've got another one planned, so I did pick up another box of stock from Bob this time round, including some new writings in SF, which you just saw there, and some Badgers as well, lots more Badger books, including file copies. And look out for the next sales video, which will be predominantly Dorset Bob stock in January, early January. All right. If you want to get in first, I always offer those videos to my subscribers and channel members a little bit earlier. So my Patreon supporters and channel members get it about a week early. So if you want the absolute first pick, make sure you're supporting the channel there. But if not, it'll be sort of mid-January. And there we are, so plenty of Badger books there. And I'll go through my haul at the end, but there was lots and lots of great stuff. And I still am on a bit of a kick to get SF anthologies, so I picked up quite a bit of that. These were nice. These are some Boardman paperbacks. I've had a few through my hands, and I really like them. I love the design of them, but I don't actually collect them. But yeah, TV Boardman, they're nice, as are these as well. Some early Panther SF titles. That's one I have got. Don't think I've got that one. Have to look it up. And these fantasy books, I've had a few through my hands. They don't really strike a chord with me, I'm afraid to say. You see, that's Donald Wilhelm of Door fame. They don't have any nostalgia. I never read any when I was sort of getting into reading science fiction when I was growing up. So yeah, they don't have a lot of nostalgia for me. So consequently, I don't collect them. But I have had a few through my hands. Like that one there, I've definitely had. I think it's quite common. They're not massively expensive, but they are like little historical pieces from the golden age of science fiction. And like a lot of this stuff, now that Bob's made a bit of room, he's able to get things even more sorted. And he does have hardback stock as well. I rarely go for the hardbacks just because I don't really have the room for it. As I said before, big runs of authentic science fiction here. Fantastic. All the pulps that you've seen. New Worlds, science, fantasy. Here we are. This is good stuff there. Quite nicely sorted. So if there's odd things that you need, you can always just drop Bob an email, and all full details will be down below in the description for you if you do need to contact Bob. Bob will, of course, be at the London Paperback Show along with myself and Steve. Here's some of his American stock now, his gold medals. So we're both, all three of us are looking forward to seeing you at the London Paperback Show. It's sure to be an absolutely fantastic event, even better than last time, if that's possible. It's going to be just amazing. And Steve and I will be predominantly on Bob's stall, helping out and meeting and greeting viewers of the channel. It's going to be fantastic. Really, really looking forward to it. So I just about managed to film, or shop, I should say, not film, but shop most of Bob's stock. But there was just one sort of corridor of books that I only had a chance to glance over, really. So I never had a chance to really go through my Philip Jose Farmer's and Bob's Ace Double stock, his vintage Ace Doubles, which I do particularly like. So I'm going to save that for next time. And we're thinking our next trip up to Bob's will probably be February, sort of mid-February possibly. At the moment here, going through Bob's Corgi science fiction, and the distinctive green spines there. I really like these. In actual fact, I've actually got most of those. So there wasn't, I don't think I picked up any that I needed. But they do look nice because I collect all the vintage Corgi series. It's nice to see all the science fiction ones in a row like that. And some great stuff as well. They had some good authors. There's Bob's Doc Savage stock, which I never really got into, but nice all the same. Once again, I don't think I picked up any door books because Bob files them under the author's name, which is obviously the right way to do it. I'd constantly be looking back and forth through my door list, so I just didn't get around to doing it. Same, actually, when I went to Morris's. So I must make a concerted effort to try and do that next time round. A few Star Trek books there. I did end up picking up A Spock Must Die, an upgrade to my own copy, which I was pleased to get. I had a couple of those, and seems to be a harder one to get. That's a great book if you've never read it, The Making of Star Trek. Very, very good indeed. Quite a few Ballantine that I spotted that I needed, so I was really pleased to get some of those for my vintage Ballantine SF collection. And I picked up a few Panthers as well. Plenty of anthologies. Really, really good day for anthologies. Lots of gaps in my collection that I've been able to fill thanks to Bob's stock, and in great condition as well. I look forward to going through those with you shortly. I said I didn't go mad on the footage of the warehouse because in a lot of cases you have seen this before, but Bob is constantly buying books, and I think he did mention there's a collection on the way, and he'll be bringing as much as he can carry in his van to the London Paperback Show. So if you fancy seeing some of this stuff up close and making an informed decision, then get yourself down to that London show in March. It's going to be fantastic. Yes, lots and lots of good stuff here. Loads of great Ace stuff, which is a publisher I've been really getting into just recently. Ace science fiction is just so good. I blame Richard at Vintage SF. He's such a big fan of the Ace books, and I already had a fair few, but I've been enjoying picking up new additions to the collection. That door there, We Can Build You, is quite a scarce door book. Philip K. Dick, you're not going to go wrong there. Yeah, some great stuff. Now this is the box of stuff that I pulled up, some of it at least. So as I said, look for a video mid-January, there or thereabouts. And there's Steve, spotted another rarity, has he? Yeah, it was a real tonic going up with Steve, and we went and had lunch in the pub afterwards. It was great with Bob and reminiscing. Really, really great, and just what you need as a little break from all the madness that can happen in December leading up to Christmas. It's a busy old time of year, and well, this was the aisle I never really got to shop properly. I just ran out of time, unfortunately. But as you can see, Bob's got lots of Ace Doubles and things like that, and I'll get to these next time. do like the earlier science fiction ace doubles. They are my favourites, but the later ones have certainly got their highlights as well. I said loads more pulps and hardback stock down here. It's great. Really, to do it justice, you need a good full day. Really heads down looking for it. But I certainly enjoyed it. It was just what the doctor ordered. And yeah, Steve had a really great time as well. So it was good all round. And yeah, I got a nice haul, and we'll have a look at that in just a moment. Okay then, so we'll start off with the 3 analogue mags, and this is that first one here. It's a December 63. This is the cents copy there. See, it's 50 cents in the corner. And there are British and American versions. My other 2 are British, but this is the US version of this one. So June World, there we are, by Frank Herbert. And this was the very first appearance of June in print at all, anywhere. Before it was a book, it was in this magazine here. So there we are, June World by Frank Herbert, page 17. So let's get to that page. A few illustrations with it. There we are. Look at that. John Schoenherr did the illustrations. First of 3 parts. Herbert's last great novel was a tale of men under pressure of war in deep water. This is the story of men under pressure of politics and the dehydration of a waterless world by Frank Herbert. There we are. And here we are. So, as I said, this was massively expanded for the book form when it got put into a novel and became, well, one of the science fiction greats that we know today. But this was its very first appearance. As I said, they split the story into 3 parts. Now here's the second one, which is January 64. You notice this has got a 5 shillings sticker. Well, not a sticker, it's actually printed. That's not an over sticker. So you've got the 50 cents there and a 5 shilling there for the second part of June World. And then the last part is in this one here. Once again, this is a British copy with the 5 shillings on the side there. Honestly, I don't mind. I used to have these years ago. I had a full run of Analog and Astounding. I had about, 1,500 pulps, and I just did not have the room for them. They were a fantastic collection that I bought from an original owner, and back in the 90s when I had my shop, and I just didn't have the room for them, so I had to get shot of them in the end, which I do regret now, because I'm much more into science fiction nowadays and discovering the old classics than I ever was back then. But there you go, that's the way it goes. Now on to the book purchases. So well, a bit of fun here to begin with. This is by John Burt, an author I do actually really like, and he was, you could say, the king of the movie tie-in, and don't mind a bit of John Burt, and Dad's Army I very much like as well. I do have another Dad's Army book, which is a Piccolo, like a little an oblong cartoon book of Dad's Army cartoons, which is quite nice as well. This is the adaptation of the movie Dad's Army. Once again, Ursula Le Guin and Ace, both sort of a good combination there, so I was pleased to get this one. This is a British import of this Ace book, so it's got the 2 shilling, and it's TP, Thorpe and Porter, that stands for, and that was a proper British, an American import, a British edition of American one, exactly the same as this, which Shadow with Eye. This is really nice, isn't it? Look at that. Very, very attractive cover. This is a Ballantine 577, and a Ballantine Horror, which I don't think I've got much of, in all honesty. I think they're fairly early 60s, this. 62. Yeah, pretty lovely, that one. And I'm not going to unpack all these now. I should do a proper December pickups video in a couple of weeks' time, so I'll give these all a clean then. But this is another fairly early Ballantine, number 113. Chad Oliver, not an author I know a lot about. Here's another one as well, another Chad Oliver, slightly later one. I just love these vintage Ballantine SF books. There's just something about them. They hold, I don't know, like a sense of wonder. Do you know what I mean? I just Love them. Now this is one I've been seeing online quite a bit. It's the first of the many anthologies we'll see today, and it's one I've just found quite intriguing. So it's got a nice batch of names there as well. Look at that. Got some good stuff in there. Some more like Geoffrey Household. You might have thought more would be in the crime genre. But yeah, really interesting little anthology, that from 1966. Don't have much early or sort of 60s corgi SF. It's mainly the earlier 50s stuff. Another Ballantine there. Lester Del Rey. Here's a Panther SF. So I've got a few from this, the best from fantasy and science fiction. This is volume 11, edited by Peter Mills. And this is a classic Panther, slight fading of the spine, but on the whole, for anthologies, I do want them quite nice nick, if at all possible. Here's another one here. This is best from fantasy and science fiction again. This may well be possibly the very first volume, which is pretty cool from that series. This is a reasonably early ace. It's a D. It's not a double. It's not a flipper. It's just a Jules Verne off on a comet. Quite nice. Ballantine 151. This is a Lester Del Rey again. Very, very nice. That one. Just love these. That's quite an early one. I think possibly his 50s. 1956. And I think these represent great value for money as well. Here's another one. Slightly later. Now, I was able to pick up a couple of Keith Roberts from Bob this time round. This is Machines and Men, Panther edition again. I'm trying to get them all in paperback first because although as much as I'm finding I really enjoy Keith Roberts, I don't think I'd want to collect him in hardback. So that was a nice one to find. I've got a few in this series already in my collection, Best of Fantasy and Science Fiction. These are Ace. This is the Ace anthology. This one's edited by Anthony Boucher. That was the fourth one of that. And then the same series, it's the sixth one in that series. Great fun. I like those. This is beautiful. This is Soviet science fiction. Look at the condition of it as well. Tiny little bit spine fading, but apart from that, that's very, very nice indeed. A beautiful, beautiful copy of that one. Now these ones here, this is another science fiction one. It's a little bit dusty and that, so it's going to clean up absolutely beautifully. It's a very, very nice one. And there's a few in this sort of style, Mayflower, that went into Coronet, that I think are particularly difficult to find in top shape. Here's Best SF9. This is another great series, Aldous and Harry Harrison. Now, this was when I've been on the lookout for, the Lincoln Hunters. So I'll be interested to see what Steve, my friend Steve, makes of this, because I believe he's just in the middle of reading it now. He got a really nice British Science Fiction Book Club edition of Lincoln Hunters. So, but it's one I quite fancy. I like a good time travel yarn. This is very nice. This is Mayflower. It's another one that's in better than, much better than average condition. You just don't see these Mayflower SF anthologies in such nice condition. And as I said, I've got a few already which are in tip-top shape. So these are really nice complements to it. Here's another one here. SF, the best of the best, part 1. And these are, I'm telling you now, these are not generally around. They're just not around. And here's another one. Absolutely outstanding shape, that one. Look at that, number 12. 7 shillings. Very, very nice indeed. Oh, here's an earlier volume. I mean, some of these, you cannot find them. They're not out there. And look at the condition of it. Absolutely stunning. I was really, really pleased to get these. As I said, particularly since I'm on a bit of a science fiction hit. And here's yet another one, number 10. Awesome, eh? And just before we make another pile, this one here is in the Ace Science Fiction Specials. It is one I've already got, but it was in such exceptional condition. Look at it. absolutely beautiful that I didn't want to leave it behind. Yeah, Leo and Diane Dillon. It's a real beauty, that. And I think finding these ones with that very black edge like that, finding it in that shape is just not going to be easy. Let's push those to the back there, because we sort of ran out of room again. Got another wedge to go through, so yet another anthology. This is the gold medal, 13 grit service, great condition. Very nice, great artwork. I just love them so much. Some good stuff in there. Go window again. Here's another one in the Ace specials, Ace Science Fiction Special, Year of the Quiet Sun. Here's the regular Ace, Kenneth Bulmer. Now here was that Star Trek book that I ended up buying. It was an upgrade, so I've had maybe 4 copies. This is not a scarce book, although it was the first, I believe this was the first standalone Star Trek book ever. But it's quite common, but this was particularly nice condition, much better than my own. Usually you find the red cockerel of Bantam is usually faded. This is an all red cover, so in actual fact, for the first printing, which I think this is 1967, or February 1970, it was a great book. It was a great book and in great condition as well. So that was a good little pickup. That I picked up a few Harry Harrisons that I didn't have already. As I said, I'm trying to get a run of his American firsts, and Bob had a few there, so there's that one there. This little anthology, Nova 2, that's very nice. It's Adele, that one. Look at that. Funky as anything. So that was really cool. And this one looked excellent. Yeah, Science Fiction in the Summer. It's really heavy, so I look forward to having a good look through that one. I think that'll be an excellent read. Here's a couple more Harry Harrison's Year's Best Science Fiction. This is edited by him, of course. A good series. And this one, sadly, I'm missing. This is parts 3 and part 2. It's an alternate history series, which I don't know a lot about from Harry Harrison, but sadly part 1 wasn't there, so I'm try and track that one down. The Stars and Stripes series. Another best from fantasy and science fiction, Panther again, which is very nice. Yet another, the best of best of sci-fi 3. So another Mayflower one. Don't show Steve that. A Science Fiction Special, another one I needed there. I've got a lot of these now. I would say I'm at least halfway, which is a pretty good achievement, I think. The World is Taboo, a little thin little ace there. Murray Leinster, it's quite nice, that, isn't it? Beautiful condition as well. And these are like this. It's a PBO. It's a paperback original. Couple more Keith Roberts. So I was particularly pleased to get finally a nice copy of the Chalk Giants. Faded spine, unfortunately, but I've been looking for so long to find a nice copy of it, and I'm just not prepared to wait any longer. So that was more than fitted the bill. Same story with this, Molly Zero. So this is in Penguin. Bit of a faded spine, but at the same time, I don't mind too much. This was nice. This little Panther science fiction, very thin, Thomas Dish book. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Echo Around His Bones. This is in great shape, and it's also the first Panther from 1970. So that was lovely. That one. That was a nice little find, because I got a couple of dishes already in Panther. So that was definitely a nice little addition. This is interesting as well. It was the gold medal of For the Man Who Fell to Earth. Got that really iconic cover. Not the greatest of condition, this one, but it was one that I was really after. So I was pleased to get that one. Another best from fantasy and SF. These are really quite common, but it's uncommon to find them in nice condition, and that's what it's all about at the moment with me. Once again, this is another one I really was pleased about. This is the 4-square edition of the first Astounding Science Fiction Anthology. Really great. A nice 4-square. Very pleased to get that one. And then yet another. I told you I got quite a lot of anthologies. Number 14 in that series of the best from fantasy and science fiction. Then a couple more sort of special books to end the haul, which is this is the Master SF series. It's published by Corgi. There's not that many in the series. There's only about, I don't know, 15. So, and I've got a few already, but this is the only really tricky one to get. It says Martian Time Slip, Philip K. Dick, introduced by Aldous, and this was once again a particularly nice copy of that one. So I sort of treated myself a little bit to that one, and then this is the final one that I treated myself to. So it's Web of the City, and I will just show you this. It is a little bit more unusual. I like Ellison, and I'd love to collect him in paperback, but he is pricey, unfortunately. But you know, he's pricey for a reason. But this was the one that got republished by Hardcase Crime, and this is the Ace paperback first, I believe, and it is it's signed by Ellison. So I haven't got any books signed by Ellison, and I know he was a prolific signer. There we are, 1983. He signed an awful lot, and he would go to a lot of conventions and that, but I never had the chance to meet him, and I didn't have anything signed by him, so I was particularly pleased to get that. So there we are. That was my haul, and very, very good it was too, from my recent visit to Dorset Bob with Steve. What a fantastic day out we absolutely had. So thanks again for Bob for being such a great host. He always looks after us, and it was fantastic, and just what I needed before the madness of Christmas really set in. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking through Bob's little warehouse and also my haul, and I'll be giving all this lot plus my other December pickups a bit of a clean in about a fortnight's time. I've got some really great and unusual stuff to share with you then as well. Thanks very much for watching today. If you've not already, do please hit that subscribe button. Join the channel, join the ranks of 25,000 plus subscribers now. Absolutely astounding number. So thank you to everybody who's subscribed. And I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.